What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and welcome to the video where today we're going to first of all, celebrate something. Let's just celebrate this for a second. And we're going to talk about two things in relation to the Philadelphia Eagles. First, there's a bunch of trade rumors going on. You can't go on the Eagles Reddit, you can't go on Eagles Twitter, you can't go pretty much anything without seeing some of these trade rumors going around. And while I'm not getting behind these rumors, while I'm not going to add fuel to the fire, I will give you my take on some of these rumors, as well as we're going to hype up Philadelphia's big matchup this weekend against the Carolina Panthers, where last year Philadelphia has beat them. I feel like, for the most part, in recent memory, Philly's been able to get the upper hand of the Carolina Panthers. I want to say like we're 3-1 in the last 4 games, and I think the one time we lost was when Carolina went to the Super Bowl, and that was I think was a pretty close game. So it's a good matchup. It's a good matchup. So we'll go through that. We'll type up that game, kind of some things I want to talk about. Then we'll talk about, Le'Veon Bell, Jordan Howard, Patrick Peterson, maybe. Stick around. That'll be at the very end. So hyping up this matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Carolina Panthers. How's Philly going to win this game? You saw Carolina. They played competitive, but they ended up getting beat by the Washington Redskins. And when you see that, I mean, you do think on one hand, yes, Carolina is a playoff caliber team. They have a pretty all right offense. They can run the ball as good as any team in the National Football League. Their defense is good. Anytime you got Luke Kuechly out there, you got to make a lot of plays. And K1 Short's really nice as well. But then you see them lose to a team like the Washington Redskins that I think most Philadelphia Eagle fans believe that we're better. The same Washington Redskins team that got absolutely embarrassed in primetime against the New Orleans Saints. So, I mean, how do we really rate the Carolina Panthers? It's a very, very close game, and if this is the Philadelphia that lost to the Bucs, that lost to the Titans, we could get smoked in this game. But hopefully we regained all of our momentum and can bring that over from that New York Giant victory and kind of be the Philadelphia Eagles that we should be, the Philadelphia Eagles that we need to be this season. So looking at that game, as I kind of preview the Carolina Panthers, the Panthers are pretty much an all-out run team. Everything they do is set up by the run, and it just allows the Philadelphia Eagles defense is built to stop the run. Philadelphia might be the best run-stuffing defense in the league. I think, maybe could lay some claim to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but not after that Dallas Cowboy game. I think you probably could say it's the Philadelphia Eagles. And I mean, when you look at, you look at Saquon Barkley had one big run, and the rest of it came through the air. It wasn't like Saquon Barkley ran over the Philadelphia Eagles for 200 yards. And when you look at Carolina, they're a top 10 rushing attack in the league right now. So we need to stop the run. And when you stop the run, it's going to force Cam Newton to use his arm. And that's exactly the game script we followed last year when we beat them. Cam Newton had to throw the ball like 40-some times, had a touchdown, had 3 interceptions. That is how you beat the Carolina Panthers. As much as Cam Newton gets praised, as much as he has swag and the little kids love Cam Newton, he might be the worst passing quarterback to ever win an MVP award. You can flush him. He is not a guy that's built to throw the ball more than 25 times a game. He's so dangerous if he doesn't have to do that and they can establish a run and he can start running. But if you force Cam Newton to beat us with his arm, and you maybe tempt him, you put Jalen Mills out there in press coverage, it might tempt him to keep throwing the ball. I don't care if that's what we need to do to get them off the script that has got them to, the Super Bowl in years past and got him to an MVP award. I am all for it. And the fact that they lost to the Washington Redskins, I mean, the Redskins kind of showed the blueprint of how to beat the Carolina Panthers. I think Philadelphia can follow that. When I look at some guys on Carolina that could cause some problems, DJ Moore has a skill set that could be a little bit worrisome. They're going to move him all over the field, and he's an electrifying athlete, their first-round draft pick out of Maryland, who I was a big fan of. So I definitely could see him having a big play or two, because one thing Philadelphia does lack is speed in the secondary. And then I look at Christian McCaffrey. Last year when the Eagles beat the Carolina Panthers, McCaffrey had 10 receptions. You look at last week against the New York Giants, Saquon Barkley had 9 receptions. So, those are the type of running backs Philadelphia usually tends to struggle against. Not the guys that run straight downhill. It's the guys that are utilized and have been game planned in the receiving game. And that is exactly what Christian McCaffrey has been. I don't even know. I think someone showed a stat where it was like Ito Smith, a rookie on the Falcons, has more rushing touchdowns in his career than Christian McCaffrey does. Like, that's just how Christian McCaffrey is built. That's not even a slight at him. He's an unbelievable player. He's an absolute weapon, but he's not going to beat us between the tackles, and that's where Philly is built to stop down the runner. So that's why when the guys can make plays, get out in space, and catch the ball in their hands, 2-3 yards outside the line of scrimmage, those are the guys that Philadelphia struggles against, because our opening field tackling is not the best. If you go one-on-one with Darby, you're probably going to make him miss. If you go one-on-one, in years past with Michael Kendricks, you probably were going to make him miss. So I'm a little bit worried about Christian McCaffrey in this game, but I firmly believe that, as much as Jim Schwartz has had his faults this year, as much as he hasn't had his best season to date, he's going to be well and aware that this game is force Cam Newton to throw the ball and don't get beat by Christian McCaffrey. You do that, your defense is going to have a good day. So flipping the switch here to the Philadelphia Eagles, I think if Carson Wentz plays this game, it's going to be him out-dueling Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly has like 9,000 IQ. He's going to be trying to call it the plays. It's going to be a really good mental matchup right there. Philadelphia's going to win this one easily. I don't say that as Philly's going to win 37-5, but I just don't think Philly's ever going to play from behind if Carson Wentz can control the line of scrimmage, wins that mental warfare battle with Luke Kuechly, and can constantly have that defense on their heels. Because when Luke Kuechly can start calling up the goddamn plays like he's done countless times throughout his career, that when that Carolina Panthers defense can heat up. I'm a little bit worried about K'Wan Short. Those bigger interior defensive tackles have caused some issues. We got Isaac Seumalo, we got Jason Kelce that are not great against the power rush. So that's a little bit worrisome, and if Luke Kuechly gets things rolling on defense, I think that is an area where the Carolina Panthers could absolutely take over and start causing a lot of problems for the Philadelphia Eagles in the interior of that offensive line. But again, it's going to be all about Carson Wentz showing why he's an MVP caliber type player and out-duel one of the best linebackers, if not the best linebacker in football, in Luke Kuechly. Alshon Jeffrey, I think, is in for a big game. Since Alshon has returned, he has looked every bit of a top 10 wide receiver. Now, again, I'm not even going to keep defending myself. You've seen my rankings. I think I put Alshon at 12. But I think when Alshon is on fire, he's absolutely a top 10 caliber wide receiver. He's big. He just bullies guys. He's an absolute bully. I don't know if there's a bigger bully at the wide receiver spot than Alshon Jeffrey in this league. And I don't really see a corner right now on the Carolina Panthers that is going to pose a lot of problems if Carson Wentz and Alshon start heating up. James Bradbury's like average to above average. You got Dante Jackson as a speedster, but I mean, he's going to get bullied. He is going to get absolutely bullied by Alshon Jeffrey. You're not going to put a 5'10", 180-pound corner on a 6'3", 6'4", 220-pound wide receiver that just likes the bully. Shout out to Bully, the video game on PlayStation 2. Heard they're making a Bully 2. That'd be dope. Hashtag C4 also does breaking video game news. When you look at Philadelphia, though, they need to establish a run. Philly has one of the worst rushing attacks in the league. Is it Corey Clement time? We saw last week. I firmly believe Corey Clement looked better than Wendell Smallwood. I hope to God Darren Sproles returns so that we don't need to worry about having Corey Clement take some snaps off so that he can focus on being a special teamer in either like a rotational kick returner with DeAndre Carter or anything like that. I just want him written out of that game plan so we can focus on him becoming our 3-down runner, the leader of this running back by committee. And I think Corey Clement showed last week against the New York Giants. Our first week without Jay Ajayi, our first week without maybe the trade of a running back from another team. I think Corey Clement established himself as the better of the two running backs between him and Wendell Smallwood, and I hope that he gets to lead the backfield in touches here against the Panthers. So all in all, man, it is going to be an interesting game. I have learned I think we all have learned from the Tennessee and Tampa games, nothing is an easy win, but I firmly believe that the Philadelphia Eagles, if they don't beat themselves, they will win this game. I think Philly's going to win 28-17. Game ball on the offensive side is going to go to Mr. Carson Wentz. Wow, C4. Bold prediction. And on the defensive side, I am going with Jordan Hicks. So we need to wrap up with some trade rumors. First up, Le'Veon Bell is still not reported to the Pittsburgh Steelers, which again continues to add more fuel to the fire that he is coming to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I've said this time and time again. Don't know why this trade would ever happen. I don't know why Philly would want to have that much of an investment at the running back spot when we won the Super Bowl with a committee. Why would they get away from that? But I mean, it's still here. It's still something, and I still remain on the fact that I don't see any way that trade happens. But if it does, I'm obviously going to be incredibly hyped because Le'Veon Bell is one of the best, if not the best, running back in football. We got the Raiders fire sale. Amari Cooper and Carl Joseph have been two names. People keep asking me about Amari Cooper. Too many drops. He's like regressed. Where Nelson Aguilar is actually like started off as dog shit and transformed and transitioned into a really good slot wide receiver. Amari Cooper went from a really good outside receiver to just a guy that can't catch the ball. He's not reliable at all. Pass. Carl Joseph, on the other hand, I mean, again, it depends what we're kind of viewing with Roddy McLeod. Are we going to move on from Roddy McLeod this offseason? If so, absolutely bring in Carl Joseph. Carl Joseph has those West Virginia ties. That is probably, it feels like the most drafted school from Philadelphia the last couple of years. We just love our West Virginia prospects. We got Wendell Smallwood. We got Rasul Douglas. You got Shelton Gibson, just to name a few. So I think that because of that connection, maybe, and I would not be against bringing in Carl Joseph. You got Patrick Peterson is reportedly on the trade blocks from the Arizona Cardinals. Makes sense from Philadelphia's standpoint, where I don't think we're going to have Ronald Darby back next year. I think we're probably going to look at moving God, please, fingers crossed. Moving Jalen Mills to the safety spot, so he could have a big opening there at the cornerback spot, but it comes down to salary cap. How can we afford Patrick Peterson? We might be able to pay the price to bring him to Philadelphia, but how are we going to make that cap work on our roster? Doesn't make sense for me. And then last but not least, we have Jordan Howard, who kind of looked like he got phased out in that overtime loss between the Bears and the Dolphins. Seemed like Tariq Cohen was getting a lot more snaps. And all in all, as much as I thought this trade never made sense, because why? The Bears are a team that are a playoff caliber team. You don't get rid of talent when you're a playoff caliber team. You definitely don't get rid of talent when they're on their rookie deals and they're affordable. But I kind of thought that game plan against Miami until overtime, where I think Jordan Howard had 2 good runs. It almost felt like they were experimenting. Like, what is life without Jordan Howard going to be? Because I think he only had, like, all I know from a fantasy standpoint, he had like 3 points going into overtime. So he's not a scheme fit at all for Matt Nagy. And while that was kind of the only thing I could bring up to why he may be available via trade, and there's rumors he might have been going to the Miami Dolphins this offseason, it still doesn't make sense why the Bears would make a move like that. But if they really just want to try to cash out while the value is high, while he still is on that rookie deal, which is where his value really, really does lie, I mean, it could be another Jai scenario for the Philadelphia Eagles, and Jai has worked out well for the Eagles. We're not missing that 4th-round pick that we traded for him, and we got a Super Bowl out of it. So now it looks like Jai's done for the year and done as a Philadelphia Eagle. I would be all for making another move just like that. Getting a guy on a cheap rookie deal that's really, really productive, adds a dimension that we don't have on this offense. Clearly, Jordan Howard would be another guy in our committee. I don't think we move to a lead back role, but I mean, Corey Clement can't really do what Jordan Howard can do. Wendell Smallwood can't really do that. Darren Sproles can't really do that. Jordan Howard is the between the tackles, short yardage type guy, and he's actually kind of been working with it on his hands. That's like something every time I watch a Bears game, they're like, oh, Chris Collinsworth here, I kind of look like Count Chocula, and also Jordan Howard's been working on his receiving in the offseason on the jugs machine, all this and that. So, I mean, there is potential there. He's definitely not plateaued. He definitely hasn't hit his ceiling, and he is consistently one of the most underrated running backs in the league. A lot of things that you keep hearing about Jai while he's a member of the Miami Dolphins. So, I think of all the rumors, if I had to sink one in for the Eagles, I would go with Jordan Howard right now, just because, if they want to cash out, if they want to go with Tariq Cohen as their starter, it could work out. But again, it comes down to, I don't think any trade's really going to happen, even though they kind of teased us with moving that money around on Fletcher Cox's deal to free up like $7 million worth of salary cap. I just don't see why the Bears would want to make that move. Why give away talented piece while you're winning? If they were sucking, I could see them. But the fact that they're right in the hunt there, I don't know. And, for the longest, I thought maybe Tevin Coleman from the Falcons, but now that Devontae Freeman's gone on IR, I mean, there you go with that one. So, all in all, I think Jordan Howard, if I had to sink my teeth and kind of get behind one potential trade rumor, I think Jordan Howard might make the most sense for me right now. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this upcoming matchup against the Carolina Panthers? What do you think about all the trade rumors right now with the Philadelphia Eagles? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit your subscribe button, because I might have a niche now. Now that it seems like there's a gigantic weight lifted off the Eagles community, there could be someone that could step up and bring you that entertainment. Maybe I could be that guy. So hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed what you saw here today. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.